on Sunday afternoon, and I'm eating.
I don't know what it's called, but they're
cereal.
amazing.
It's pretty good.
They're pretty dope. Yep, amazing.
But yeah, you were listening to Average Rants here on KNMC
90.1
FM. It's kind of fun when you can hear yourself.
Is it?
Yeah.
How do I sound? Do I sound good?
You sound the exact same way as I always hear you.
Right.
But I sound.
You know what's weird? Like hearing your own voice because no one hears their own voice. Like I think my voice is different, but it's nope. That's how
Well,
everyone.
because like you don't put the headset on.
No.
And I just have it on to make sure that our volumes are kind of nice on this.
I'll put the headset on every now and again,
But every time I talk, I feel like there's a third person in here. But, oh yeah, so we've got event stuff. I didn't bring my glasses, so
now you're old.
I don't know. So maybe-
I got told I was 29 the other day.
How drunk was she?
It was Aiden. Aiden passed. Yeah, Aiden. Ran into him the other day at work. He's like, man, I only thought you were like 29. I'm like, no.
That's, well, like, because when I'm in college, I get told that I'm younger. And I was like, well, it's just because of our natural physiques. We just look so young. We don't have the dad bod yet.
Yeah.
Our wives think we do because they knew us when we were young.
Right.
But people that just meet us assume that we've always been this way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 29.
I'm looking for some fun ones because we got a lot of like events that.
Well, the 4th of July is coming up, so you got a bunch of stuff.
Okay, I would not know to even.
July 4th.
Oh wait. So
Independence.
July 1st.
Yeah.
We have Canada Day. That's a good one. So you can celebrate Canada Day with all your Canadian friends that you know.
You don't have any friends.
I have one Canadian friend. It's my wife. And I usually message some friends back home. But yeah, the 4th. There's the 4th of July festival in Pepin Park will be happening on. Guess what? The 4th of July.
Yeah, hey.
That'll be at 12 p.m. Yeah, that's. What else we have? Burger Feud fundraiser. They always have that on, don't they?
Yeah.
So that's kind of reoccurring, but that's still a cool thing. I like fundraisers. That'll be happening on July 5th, Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. The Eagles.
Tuesday night burger feed every night. You go out there and grab yourself a burger, and the money goes to a good cause.
Does Jerry serve the burgers?
Jerry works for the Lions, not the Eagles.
Oh yeah, I get them.
So you can go see Jerry up at the fair when he's in the Lions booth handing out Pronto Pups.
That's right.
Or he's running around in a lion costume.
Yes, he gets very inappropriate with me a lot when he's in the suit because I always get confused because sometimes he's not in it. So then I don't know.
You can't just go do your thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, this could get awkward really quick.
Yeah, I don't want to do something to the wrong Jerry Lion. Hey, there's bingo.
Sure.
So July, Wednesday, 6th at the Crawford Distillery, there is bingo. So you could get a little woohoo and a bingo.
Mm.
I feel like if I went to one of those and I was actually drinking a bit, I would just yell bingo by mistake and then they'd throw me out. People get very offended if you say bingo when you shouldn't say bingo.
Yeah. Never been a big bingo player. But although it is one of the few games that I could actually play without getting lost.
There we go. There's some events.
There you go. You have a story.
I do have a story.
This is a switch. Good.
Yeah, I don't even have to read it.
Good, because
unless
this was
we want names.
No, but this last week was frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
News-wise.
Yeah.
So.
Let's not talk about
No, we're not going to talk about that.
I've been dealing with that for a couple days now.
Yeah.
Anywho, as you would say. So did you know what happened at the last Colorado Avalanche and Lightning game?
The Lightning won, so the game's going to game 6.
But I mean fans-wise. What happened to the fans
Which ones?
for the Colorado?
Where they got, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know? This is a crazy, awesome story that I would love if I had friends that were this awesome.
Right?
So a group of friends had a buddy pass away.
Oh, cool.
And
Not cool that he passed away. I can just see where this is going.
he was a diehard Colorado Avalanche fan?
Not a good night to be an Avalanche fan, though.
No, but they are still up.
Right?
So he passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't say how. He just passed away, and the friends brought his ashes to the game to watch.
I did hear about this, and they got thrown out for it.
They threw the ashes on the ice, man. But they threw the ashes all over the ice, and there's a video of the ashes flying through the air.
Those guys are dedicated.
And so they got a hold of it. It's funny, the guy that did it is banned for the rest of the season. And he's like, oh no.
One game?
Yeah, 1 or 2 games.
No, one.
Oh, yeah.
They're going back for game 7, and then that's it. Yeah, one game.
So he's banned, and they interviewed him. And he looks right at the camera, and he's like, you know what? Looking back, I would do it again in a heartbeat. He's like, that's where my buddy wanted to be, and I knew that that's where he needed to be. And they're like, well, where do you think he is now? And he's like, well, he's all over that ice because the Zamboni came and took him around.
And he's going to eventually end up in a drain somewhere. And, yeah.
But how awesome!
But that's
is
cool. Yeah, that's.
Like, I thought that was pretty.
To pay homage or honor to somebody who didn't get to watch their team play. It's not like the Avalanche are starved for championships. They won it in 2002, I think, or 2001.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it has been 2 decades for them. Don't know how. My team's never won a championship in any sport I've ever watched.
Oh, well, I mean.
No, I take that back. My baseball team, I don't really follow them that much. The Twins.
When I was younger, I was blessed with back-to-back World Series.
The Blue Jays. Yeah, see, when I was a little kid, the Minnesota Twins won it back-to-back.
So I think that's why my team for hockey never wins. I got that.
Yeah. But I don't even remember. It's like I was at a wedding for the second one.
Oh, I watched both, and then my dad got a copy of the newspaper from the Toronto Sun that had I remember Joe Carter and Roberto Alomar being like, whoa, because they had won, and he got that framed.
So during the wedding reception for the World Series, because it was like a game 7 or something like that, they had the Homer Hankies, for the Twins, and then they'd be yelling the score out over the PA system during the dances at the reception and everything. So, but I was really young. I couldn't have been. I wasn't more than 10 years old.
Well, let's see, you're 29 now.
Yeah. So I was born in 1992. No. A little bit before that.
I actually find it weird when I hear that somebody is born in the 90s. It feels weird to me now.
Have you seen the TikTokers that are like, I'm so old, and they show their birthday is like 1995.
Oh yeah.
99. You're like, oh yeah.
Man, I guess that kind of gets. We're gonna get on a TikTok rant again. I hate it so much. And I may.
That came from TikTok. So there are some good things that come from TikTok.
Yeah, but I watch it, but for the most part, it's a bunch of stupid things.
Oh yeah.
And the worst ones are the side by side of somebody reacting to watching a video, because they're not actually reacting. They probably watched it 6 times, and then we're like, which one's the funniest one that I should quote with it?
But yeah. I got to say, there is a guy that's pretty funny. He's from England, and he does candy reviews from candy around the world, and he does mostly American candy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, some American candy is really good, like the Twix bar and stuff like that. But he absolutely despises licorice. Like, he's like, it smells gross. It tastes gross. It's just gross. It's just funny. And he's English. And English guys sound very, I don't know what it is, but if a person's English, you just automatically assume they must be really intelligent because they talk really that English accent they have, and you're just like, huh.
Like, oh, cheerio.
Right. They can be dumber than a box of rocks, but they sound really smart because of the way they speak.
They have this little licorice, and
right.
It smells like cotton pea.
Right? Oh. People are like, they need to learn to speak English. That is English. Your version of English is, yeah. Right? So. Oh, yeah. Really rotten news for Newsweek. It was, I mean, that happened Friday, but still.
Oh, yeah. And that was, man, woke up and I told her, so we get the
So
notification.
we're gonna rant about it, but I'm not gonna go into my opinion or the deep. But all I gotta say is, how much harder can we make it to be female? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, it already sucks bad enough.
Well, that happening made me start thinking about stuff. And
Let's face it. You guys, we breeze through everything. We got it easy, no matter what. It's easier for us to get a job. We get better paying jobs. What? We don't even have to sit down to go to the bathroom.
And we don't care about. Well, we get the option. We actually can choose.
I mean, if you're tired, you can sit down,
right? Or you want to play on your phone,
right?
Like, but if you're in the bush, you're like, I ain't sitting down.
No way. I could get bit in the butt.
Yeah. But I was thinking, and I was like, you and I were trying to get hockey kind of out there.
Right.
And I know that's a lot of sports are doing that kind of stuff. But I started thinking, and here's a question for you. What do young girls wish that they could win that makes them want to go further in hockey? Because when I grew up, it was the Stanley Cup. You always thought, you pretended you were holding the Stanley Cup.
What is the Women's Cup?
There isn't one. There's only like gold medals and championships.
Right. But they don't have an actual pro level women's hockey yet. Well, I mean, they do, but
they
not.
do. It's starting up, and it's gone. I think one or 2 years now.
Yeah, but it's
still
really,
kind of
I think there's
small.
like 5 or 8 teams.
Yeah, it's not very big. But it did. It made me start thinking. I was like, well, jeepers, because I mean, the World Cup for soccer, they have a men and a women's.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
So I was like, how cool would it actually be? And I mean, I think it would be if they had a professional women's league that when you got to the end, your name got put on the actual.
So here's my theory on what they should do with the women's national professional hockey, whatever. Get it away from anything. Get it out. Don't do it during the NHL for the men.
Oh no!
Because first of all, you and I are like, go Tampa. Not because we want Tampa to win necessarily, but because we don't want the season to end. When the Avalanche win the next game, the season is officially over for hockey, and we don't get hockey for what? 2 months, 3 months? So if Tampa Bay pulls out a win tonight, we get another game.
Well, and the bonus is if Tampa actually wins again, I could say then
It's never happened in the history of the
it's
NHL.
Toronto.
No team has ever come back from 3-1 in the
Unless
Stanley
they play
Cup.
Toronto.
Well, that will be this year's asterisk. It's never happened before. But if a team were to do it, I think it would be Tampa Bay because, first of all, their goaltending is so much better, and they're playing at home
Yeah. Well,
in Game 6.
have
So
I not proven my point though that every team that beats Toronto makes it to the final?
not yet.
They made it to the final.
Yeah, but when they went,
They made it. I didn't say they were going to
win
win
it. Yeah,
because the one year Boston beat them and made it. They didn't win.
yeah.
So
But I mean, Jesus, I think if they're going to do a women's pro hockey league, pro any league, do not air it or show it at the same time that the men's one is going on.
yeah.
Because first of all, one's going to pull attention from the other, and you're just grasping for leftovers, and it's just.
Well, I just thought it was weird. Like I was just thinking about it, and I was like, what? Like there's a lot of sports, and every little boy usually is like, football. They're like, I won the Super Bowl. That's probably like what they pretend they won.
And here's my question, and you know more about this than I do because you've been involved with hockey since you were little. Why don't they allow checking in adult women's hockey?
You got me.
Because a guy wrote the rules.
No,
I'm willing to bet it's because a guy wrote the rules.
This is just kind of like hearsay, but because remember I was younger when women started
Right.
kind of being able to play. But I vaguely remember being told that because yes, it was a bunch of guys that kind of put it together. Now there's more women being involved.
Right, which, yeah.
But at the time, they thought that if 2 women hit, that it would hurt their boobs.
How can a guy even know?
That is, I'm not saying that that's what I said. I'm just saying that that's what I remember hearing. And even when I was young, I remember being like, "Have you watched women's rugby?"
I think most men's biggest problem is we got to stop trying to pretend that female are weaker and less and are more frail than men.
Well, I would like to challenge. This is what we're going to do. I challenge anybody to find a male bear and a female bear, and then go try to grab the cub and see which one's more deadly.
The male just turns and walks away. He's got better stuff to do.
So,
Mama bear, she's going to dig a hole for you.
when you look at species in general, when it comes to protecting children, the women are always extremely crazy. So what makes it any different? Like, yes, you look at like moose men. Moose
They
are
had
bigger,
this-
stronger, but
It took forever for female combat sports to take off because there were a bunch of men sitting there going, women shouldn't be in there beating the crap out of each other. But it's okay for the guys to do it.
yeah.
It's not like you're going out and pulling people off the street and literally forcing them to fight each other. You know, you're going to do this. This is a death match. You're going to do it or die. No, they want to compete. They want to, like your wife kickboxes.
Yeah.
Did she ever do it competitively?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, she chose to get kicked in the head.
Man, I still remember one of her first ones. It was like her first actual competition, and it was in Quebec. And she got hit in the face and got a bloody nose. And I remember I was like, oh no, and because it ended. And then she went into the bathroom and she was like, it looked like she was like crying and stuff.
You do cry. That's the thing.
I was like, are you okay? You're okay? She's like, I'm so bad.
Right? We have got this. It's this stupid that they're so much frailer and weaker than, and it's not true by any stretch of the imagination. Because if it were, the species would have died a long time ago because they would have stopped. That's why men don't carry kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think with what's going on, men have the right to decide any of this.
You have no uterus. You have no opinion.
The thing that I talked about with my wife is I can't understand why a topic like this, there was a poll done in Florida, of all places, and 57% were against what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, in Florida? So, I mean, that tells you that most of the country wants something one way. So I can't figure out why this had to go to a Supreme Court with a bunch of, I'm just going to call it, it's a bunch of dickheads.
Mm-hmm.
They go up there and we're trusting them to make decisions based on the law, but really it's their opinion because they can change the laws. I
read a really interesting article. A couple of senators are really upset at two of the justices that were appointed in the last presidential term because when they were asked, before they were appointed, they have to go through a whole bunch of screenings and through the senators, and to be appointed, you have to get voted in essentially. And the senators literally asked them, "What would you do?" Because it's Roe versus Wade has been a huge topic for 50 years. What would you do about? And they're like, both of them, we would never change this. This is set in precedent. It's been there for 50 years. It belongs there. We would never change it. Well, on Friday, they changed it.
Yeah, because it's all a ploy.
Yeah.
Like, what's to stop me from...
Whenever I hear a person who's in politics who's like, I'm doing this for the people, I'm like, maybe partially, but the majority of it is for you.
Yeah.
You're going to do with what you feel is right. Not with who you represent, maybe a part of it. But for the most part, it's what you believe.
Well, I would have just liked to have seen, that's something they could have put on a ballot and seen what the people wanted.
Right. They knew they'd lose that fight.
But that's just it. That's
right.
The problem is why won't they let the people make the decision and instead they assume what the people want? No, it's because they're always going, and it's not Republican, Democrat, it's both.
Oh, it's both ways.
Everybody in politics assumes what people want. They don't actually care what people want. And I don't know. It's another one of those things where it doesn't affect me. Right? So no matter what was going to happen.
No male can have any opinion on this whatsoever.
I don't know what it's like to be pregnant. I don't know what it's like to be pregnant and then have somebody leave you. I don't know what it's like to be raped and then become pregnant. I'll never know any of those things. So why do I even get a say?
You don't get a vote. Nope. Not even.
I told my wife and I was like,
I got a daughter. Like, this is setting us back. We're going backwards.
Well, I told her the bonus that she has is that she has a husband like me that would go the extra mile to help her with something like this. And the other bonus we have is we can go back to Canada anytime.
Yeah. Whew, enough of that. Enough of that. Let's get out of that. That's sad.
That's like anger and
Well, it just goes to
confusion
show how, like,
and-
I mean, we don't even have a say, and I mean, like, what? Like, I read it and went, "Are you kidding me?" Anyway, let's get some science in here. Scientists prove a centuries-old theory that a crucial feature in our ability to hear evolved from fish gills.
So we're like the deep.
I just started episode 6, man. That's okay. We can't describe this show too much, but if you get a chance and you're an adult over the age of 40, The Boys is an amazingly terrifying roller coaster ride of crazy. Yeah.
Do you want what I've done? Have you ever read the comics?
No.
I have them all.
Well, you were talking about the other day when you're with your wife, and are they just as
The stories are somewhat similar, but completely different.
really? Anyway, let's get to the gills thing.
Yeah.
Like I've just 10 minutes into episode 6, so I haven't gotten to the. Literally, there's a PA for parental advisories in the beginning of that episode. Apparently, it's pretty graphic.
Yeah. Well, it's called it's herogasm. I can say that word.
You guys just let your mind wander on that one.
Yeah.
The team of scientists from China and Europe found concrete evidence of a fossilized spiracle gill. These spiracles have long been thought to have eventually evolved into the middle ear canal on most land animals. Science is crazy. Evolution is nuts.
It is,
Like, that's
and
where
I
it
mean,
comes from. Because you think about it, like, well, people are like, well, how could it come from gills? Look at where gills are placed on a fish. Now think about where your ears are.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I just, I mean, I guess we can't really debate evolution versus creation, but at the same time,
You could, but it's not much of a debate.
But I mean, what's not to say that if you believed in like creation, that it wouldn't have been even cooler to create something that evolves,
Right.
right? Just to kind of be the middleman.
I am so awesome. I made things that just get better on their own.
Right.
Like, you know.
I just want to let you know that
That's.
you should have brought more.
There's a pan. I told
Well,
him.
I meant to save some for Sammy, but
I was like, I should tell him to save a little for your wife, but I didn't want to put you in that.
I could have stopped, and now I'm going to be in trouble.
Well, if you happen to make it over for the third later on tonight, you might be able
You
to
should
see
be
that.
able to.
But yeah, crazy. Just watch things like the way evolution works is just weird.
Yeah.
The way that species are able to adapt to their climates and change. I mean, look at all the different species of just throw one out there. A bear. How many different species of bear out there because they've had to evolve to their current environments?
Yeah. And, well, we're the only species that can evolve to be anywhere.
Well, and
That's because of our technology.
yeah. And technically, I mean, we shouldn't be anywhere near the top. I mean, if you put us back 15, 20,000 years ago, we shouldn't be anywhere near the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
I mean, we were back in our hunter-gatherer times. But technology has swayed that. And I would challenge anybody to be like, you get into that religious thing. Well, we didn't do that. God did it. Well, yeah, he did. He gave us the ability to do it. So why not? Kind of jumps into our previous rant,
Yeah. I was just looking at the picture of me texting.
It's you totally you, and you are texting me. I'm willing to bet you are.
Yeah, I think I am. I think that's when I found out all that stuff.
Did you text your wife throughout the meeting, or just me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, she was down there with me. So
Yeah, well, I know.
She came down and she was playing with Persephone. They did park hopping, and then Persephone got to be in a helicopter because of it.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think I mean it would make sense. Gills are extremely like they look simple when you look at them, but they're really complex.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I've got little hairs inside my ear.
Dude, that's just because you're getting old.
Yeah, I know, but they
It's
could
leaving-
been. They could be gill follicles.
It's leaving your head. And
It is
not-
not leaving my head. All right.
Mine is.
I know
Mine is.
yours
Mine
is.
is definitely. I mean, look at that. That's awful. Yeah.
You've got nothing on the back of your head anymore.
I do have some.
Let me see.
It's shut up. It's there.
Yeah. You don't want to show me because you're like, nope. You'll see a reflection.
You see your ugly mug.
I won't get that. It's not in my genes.
Oh. We evolved to hear from fish.
Potentially.
But well, yeah. So this is kind of neat. A fascinating rock outcrop in Minnesota has got scientists just scratching their head. They can't figure out what's going on with it.
A what?
A rock outcrop?
What's a rock outcrop? Is it like a bunch of hippies dancing?
No,
rocking out?
it's like rock, granite,
Okay.
stone. Minnesota officially joined the United States in 1958. Really?
That's why they haven't won a cup.
Right. I don't think that's right. I think it's 1858. I think that's a typo. 1958 would be after Alaska, which is not because Alaska.
You tell your story, and I can.
But of course, Minnesota's history is such as because I mean they even do the math. In 1958, more than 160 years old. The math doesn't add up there. 1858. It is a typo. I'm like, wait, the math just doesn't work here. 1950, no? All right. But of course, Minnesota's history stretches far past the 19th century. People have lived in this land for millennia, and if you look closely, you'll find signs everywhere. One place in particular, a huge section of rock in southern Minnesota, is a fantastic place to learn about Minnesota's history. The spot has been studied for decades, but is still a mystery to archaeologists. It's a 23-mile-long rock outcrop that baffles archaeologists to this day. It's called the Jeffers Petroglyphs. When you arrive, you won't see much at first, but then you go to the visitor center and the nearby structure stands out over the prairie, and there's a long, flat piece of rock laying out in the middle of the prairie. It's a 23-mile outcrop of pink quartzite that stretches into 2 Minnesota counties. The exposed section is smaller, covering several thousand square feet. It's strange. It's unlike anything else in the area, a strange interruption in an otherwise vast empty prairie. That's one thing that makes it baffling to them because they don't know why it's there. Like, where did this big chunk of pink granite come from? It doesn't match anything anywhere near it.
Well, first off, a bunch of bored dudes.
Right. Just lug 23 miles worth of granite. But anyway, besides being geologically interesting, the outcrop has immense historic value. It's covered in more than 4,000 petroglyphs, or rock carvings, created by the native peoples. Some were made by the Dakota people, with as many of the petroglyphs depicting motifs that appear in Dakota art. Carvings of animals, people, and other symbols cover the rock. Other petroglyphs, though, are thought to be much older, some up to 7,000 years old, which puts them to be carved around 5,000 BCE. Like, that's crazy. Because, I mean, you go to Europe and you're like, no, that's not weird. You know, people have been in Europe for forever. People didn't come here until well after, when they migrated over.
That's pretty cool, but I can say one thing.
Huh.
I'm better at drawing than they are.
Yeah? Can you draw with a rock?
Better than that, yeah.
Just a plain old piece of rock? And a lot of time.
Yeah, because you'd look at it and be like, Barry, this looks like nothing. I was like, use your imagination, Derek. Come on.
Well, what gets me are the bird people. Like that one there, it looks like a bird with a head.
Oh, man, there's like some pretty creepy ones.
Right, like...
There was one that looked like a centipede, man.
Right. Like, where do... People don't just make things up. We steal it from things we've seen.
I mean, we've talked about this before, where it is, if you see something and you've never seen it before, people would draw it. But it was the same with when Vikings first came. the natives said that they rode giant whales.
Right.
And that's because they had never seen a big boat.
Right.
So they had no word for the boat, so they called it a whale. So then all of a sudden people assumed natives thought that they were riding.
You know who the best example of this is, you ask a little kid to draw something that they've never seen before.
Yeah.
Draw it for me. What are they going to draw? Like, they have nothing to draw from. So they'll draw from something that they think is similar to it and draw it.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's,
I mean, even with my daughter, you look at it's insulting to me, but it's cute at the same time. Where whenever she draws a picture of me, she makes it have a big belly. So out of all of the
accurate.
Yeah, out of all of the characters, I can always tell which one is me.
You're the tallest with the biggest belly?
Yep, I have the big belly. And she always points it out. She's like, that one's daddy because it has a big belly. So that's what
she sees.
Yeah, but that would be like early people when we didn't have ways of...
You do know that Havre has petroglyphs, right?
Do I look like I know that?
You should. It's actually kind of neat if you get a chance. You know about the Wak Pachung buffalo jump, right? Up behind the mall there?
Yep.
Well, actually, if you stand up there, you can actually see giant like petroglyphs that were carved into the dirt. I think there's a turtle. There's a couple of things that have been up there and no one knew that. Well, because you're on the ground, you can't see it.
Yeah.
But you look down from the cliffside, you can see it.
Yeah, these are pretty cool. I mean, it's one of those things that...
But the most fascinating thing is like, first of all, 7,000 years. Like, holy cow, that's a long time ago.
Well, I like this one where it's just a handprint.
Right, but it's impressioned into the granite. Like they dug it out.
Yeah, but it's not like how we would trace our hand on paper. It almost looks like they're like, all right, now move your finger now.
Yes, he pulls his hand out.
Yes, it's chopping it up.
We've all done that one night drinking, right?
Oh, the
dude with a knife in your hand.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just. But some of them, you're like, what were they looking at back then that we don't have now?
I know what that is.
Aliens? I can't see what it is.
It's 2 balls with a long stick.
Oh, well. Yeah. How do you know that's what he was trying to represent?
I know.
But yeah, like crazy in Minnesota. Like, it's stuff I never heard of that place. Like, and I have family in Minnesota. I wonder if they even know it's there.
That'd be a cool place to go visit.
Like, when I was a kid, like, I don't know, if you get a chance to, my daughter just went. You can go to the Chief Joseph battlefield, which is just south of Chinook there, where Chief Joseph, said, when I'm done, I don't want to run anymore. My people are tired, they're sick, they're dying, and you're shooting us in the back, so we're just gonna call it here. I went to that when I was a little kid, and I'm like, wow, we're standing in the middle of a field, and I can't see anything. I'm like, this is really boring. Mm-hmm. But as you get older and you learn the context behind things, and you go out there and stand there, and you're just like, a major historical thing happened here. Something that changed history, that changed our area's history, happened right here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you grew up around it, if there's anything where you grew up that was like that had any major historical value,
Well, I mean, I grew up in a town of 2,000 people.
Yeah, you keep saying that, but
I know, but
Chinook is tiny too.
No, but it is the mineral capital of Canada.
Wow.
So this little town had one mine, and it was shut down once you didn't need to really mine for that kind of stuff. So now you can go visit it, but you could get quartz. So I remember I'd go to places when I got older, and you go to a store and they'd be selling quartz. So I'd be like, I find that rock outside my door.
Right.
So, I mean, we had that kind of stuff, but nothing too crazy. But I mean, if I went back, I might realize it. Maybe I didn't realize it.
How many people went up the what river is that? The Hudson River that goes up through the Great Lakes and up into Canada, into the Hudson Bay?
I know the St. Lawrence.
That's probably. all the ships that try to go up, trying to find the Northwest Passage that doesn't exist, trying to get to the other side of the world quicker.
Well, it doesn't now because this is I think the glaciers have
It's melted, yeah.
So now there is a passage, and there's a big fight over who owns the land going through. And every time I look at it, I'm like, well, that's clearly Canada. But the best part is everywhere is fighting over it, and this is what Canada keeps going like. Canada's like, why can't we just all use it?
Right.
Why can't we just
It's like that. It's like that one little island that belongs to the United States, but somehow ended up in Canada. Nobody knows why. Actually, they didn't know why. Some dude with a stick screwed up when he was drawing a map.
There is like a place that's not even an island. It's a chunk.
It's in Minnesota. I don't know. Oh, is it in Michigan? Or something like that? It's just a chunk.
Because there is that island, and you have to go.
You have to take a boat to get to it.
It's here.
Oh, that's different. That's over in Vancouver, British Columbia. There, the one I'm talking about is actually in Michigan.
Yeah, there's one
right there.
There it is, right there.
Yeah.
So you guys have a place, Jim's Corner, is. Oh, that's the.
Yeah. It's a chunk of Canada in the United States, and no one's like, "Well, what happened?" I don't know.
Yeah. So that is. Because that's not one of the Great Lakes.
No.
It's, Muskeg? Yeah, Muskeg Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, funny part. In the United States, it's called Muskeg Bay. In Canada, even though
it's attached, it changes.
It's called Buffalo Bay.
So
then on the other side, which is Canada, it's the same lake, but is now called.
But look at the border there. Like, it just goes all weird.
Yeah, and I heard about this place. So, like, the crazy thing for them is they get paid in American. They have to do everything in American, but they don't have jobs, and they end up going into Canada to buy everything.
Right.
So one thing that was pretty big in the news recently was when the borders got shut down, these people got stuck.
Yeah, they couldn't do anything.
Because they couldn't get any shipments of food. They couldn't cross the border.
Like, all because some dude forgot how to use the pole when mapping out the border of the United States.
And it is still the only place that just has a sign to let you know you're coming into the United States and Canada.
It's not protected by anything.
No. So I'm sure people were jumping it, but that's kind of like this kind of thing shows you how dumb politics are. Because you and I would look at that and go, that seems stupid.
Just cut it off, man. Give it to them.
Yeah, like, why wouldn't you just say, yeah, take that small chunk? Because I guarantee it's not making the United States.
It's not. It's not military strategically useful for anything.
It's just, it looks like somebody had a line. So, like, you look at all these lines, and most of them are straight.
From there over, it's straight to the straight to the coast.
You're in. It's around right here. It looks like somebody sneezed as they were trying to draw a line.
So the surveyors back then, they had to do it the hard way. They had to measure latitude and longitude with the stars, and they didn't have any fancy GPS things to do it for them. That guy was drunk that day when he took that up.
Do you see this?
Yeah.
So, in the entire world, there is only one border that can be seen
from
from
space,
space, and that is the Canadian-U.S. border.
Trees.
Because they cut down trees so that they would know who owns which.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But you know what? We're going to be dead and gone. And I honestly feel like the Star Trek thing is going to happen, where it's going to be like the United Earth.
I wish it would be that.
It's not going to happen now, but eventually, like, the way things are going, it's the only way that I can feasibly see.
No, but I don't know if we can, because nobody can get along with anybody.
But it'll just be one person, one country decides, I'm going to do this. And then they do it and nobody stops it. And
that's kind of how it is now.
But that's what I mean. But right now it kind of goes, and then people are like, maybe now we should stop it. But one day a country.
I think we can wait another few days for it to get worse.
Yeah.
What? No. Why wait? We can fix it now.
I'm glad we don't live forever. I feel like I would just get so frustrated.
I'm a Highlander fan. I don't know how that guy can, like, he's only lived like 400 years in the TV series.
Yeah.
I mean, to watch your people, your loved ones just die around you constantly. Yeah.
Even for the dumb border, they have the cheese cut.
Yeah. Oh, you go up. I should take you up there. I mean, I've come up to the border several times when I've been hunting. I mean, people are like, there's a fence. There's no fence. It's just these big concrete pillars. They're about 4 feet tall, one every 100 or so feet.
Well, heaven forbid an American tries to run into Canada.
He won't stop you. Trying to get back's kind of a bugger, though.
That's what I just never understood, right? Like, why couldn't we just open them up? And I mean, Canada and the United States are so similar in most parts.
This is just me, but I think it's more of a survival instinct for people. This is mine. I have to keep it or I won't survive. But that's not the way it is anymore.
I don't know. I let you borrow my tools and then stuff and forget about them.
But I gave it back.
Yeah, but I forget. And then we're like, oh yeah, but you still have the gun that I won. And I keep being like, oh, I should get that back. And I forget.
I was totally going to bring it to you.
Yeah, like.
But you don't need that to eat.
I do.
I guarantee if you needed it to eat, you'd be like, dude, I need that like yesterday.
I'd be like, I'm hungry.
I haven't eaten yet today and I need to go hunting, so yeah. Weird borders. How did we get on that?
Because we ran.
Oh, about Minnesota being weird.
Oh yeah.
With the weird outcropping and everything, yeah.
It's the I guess it's the version of gerrymandering on a country base.
Right.
Because it's like, oh no, because Canada actually used to be down to own. I don't know where it is on here, but there's a Vancouver, USA.
Well, that's way over. And yeah, there you go. It'd be over in there somewhere.
But
because that's Vancouver Island.
Yeah, there's Vancouver up here, but there's a Vancouver, USA, and that's the 49th parallel, the 49 or fight. Mm-hmm. So the United States gave Canada the option of going to war over a couple miles of moving.
So here's an interesting story about Montana. You know why Montana's got the goofy shape it is? Montana's original border was supposed to be the Continental Divide. It's not. When they apparently some guy's like, no, we literally stole it from Idaho, our face.
Okay.
We didn't want the Continental Divide, so we just moved it. So we stole a big chunk of Idaho. No one bothered to care.
Nice. Yeah, because that's why this. That's actually why this weird place exists, is because that the border actually used to be down here,
mm-hmm.
and then when everything got changed, they just went. And you know why that happened, though, right? That was during the gold rush kind of stuff. So the United States wanted more land to get gold, and none of those places actually really had it. It was up here.
Yukon. Yeah. Speaking of the Yukon. Oh, I'm a huge Gold Rush fan. I watched that show. Love that show. I don't know why. Like, hey, they're digging up dirt and they're finding gold. I'm going to go dig in my backyard and find some gold. No,
you know, when I lived in Georgia, first thing my dad asked me after I'd been there a month, he's like, so have you been panning for gold? I'm like, yes, Dad, every day. I'm going to go out and just pan for gold and find nothing.
There are a bunch of mines out in the Bear Paws. They are old mine pyrite out. They mine pyrite out there. I'm not sure what they used it for. But if you look in the streams out there in the black sand, you can see the shiniest. It's all pyrite. I'm sure there's some gold out there, but yeah. There's an old wagon trail that used to lead to the fort, Assiniboine.
When you were young, did you ever? We used to call fool's gold.
Pyrite.
Yeah, but did you go to a baseball diamond? Because our baseball diamonds weren't like that red stuff that you guys got. It was all that like gravel.
Oh yeah.
And you go there, and I remember going through that, and you'd find fool's gold all through it.
Oh yeah, ours weren't like that.
No.
But miners working in a gold field in the Yukon have uncovered what is being called the most complete mummified woolly mammoth found to date in North America. I've seen a picture of it. The thing it looks like it died yesterday. I mean, it's crazy. Like it's just fell over and froze to death, and there it is.
Yeah.
You gotta get a subscription.
Mummified baby woolly mammoth.
They believe
with
it's
skin
semen.
and hair found in Canada.
Yeah. And they're trying to, I don't know if they've succeeded or not, but they've found usable DNA in from mammoths, and impregnated an elephant and have tried to bring back the mammoth. My question is should we? I mean, I've seen Jurassic Park. That didn't work out well for them.
Yeah, I don't think we should.
Saving a species that we've eradicated, as we have through deforestation and people being greedy like they are. We gotta, that's one thing. But to kill a species that debatably went extinct on their own without human help, people hunted them to extinction. I'm like, how? We had sticks.
Well, I mean, even that, it's the, even if we deforest something and make it go away, like I think wasn't the dingo?
No, not the dingo. The tiger, the Tasmanian tiger down in Australia.
Yeah, where there's
which they have recently.
Yeah, they recently found some again. Or
they're saying, there are reports that they're seeing them again.
But it's like stuff like that. If we can just bring it back after making a mistake, then the people that made the mistake will constantly go, well, then why do we have to stop doing it if we can just fix our own problem that way? So I kind of don't think we should be bringing stuff back that we got rid of. We should learn from our mistakes. That's what history is for. But
we don't learn from our mistakes. Never.
Yeah. It was funny when I was in my history class, every war that has happened, you can actually look at and see that they've all happened the same way.
For the same reasons.
Yeah.
It's all for wealth and power. Every war and every conflict that's ever been out there has been about wealth and power.
Yeah.
So I didn't have this in my phone, and I should have talked about it earlier, but this is connected but not connected. I really got into this with my wife the other day when I brought it up. There were a track team, I can't remember where it was, that were suspended from school because they wanted to be allowed to wear their sports bras to practice because it was like 100 degrees out. The school suspended them because it was against dress code. The problem that I have with this is they let the guys practice shirtless, but the girls cannot go out in a sports bra.
Have you ever seen a runner's bra?
Yes, it's a sports bra. And so they came up and they had a petition, and they suspended them even longer.
Well, that's another one of those dumb things.
Okay, we have this thing with the female form and breast. They're no different than the males. Let's face it, some guys have some pretty big. It was in Albany, New York. Thank you. I can't read that. But anyway, we have this thing with the female form. What's the difference between female breast and male breast? I mean, honestly, other than size.
In my experience, I don't know if they can grow the hair that I can.
I don't know that either, but I'm pretty sure but I think that has to do with testosterone levels.
I know.
If you were given,
or
if men are given estrogen, they do grow.
Where I was born in Belleville, Ontario. And last I heard is women are still allowed to walk around topless. There. And you know what? It's one of those things where it's always men. Because men go, oh, well, you can't do that because I find it attractive.
Well, and here's the reason. And I read the story, and this made it for this had the debate for me right there. Like, this shouldn't have happened at all, because it would make the male coaches uncomfortable. First of all, if you are a male coach looking at underage girls in their sports bras and it's making you uncomfortable, you've got a problem.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be that. In that
Your school needs to take a look at who they have coaching.
I was talking with my wife kind of about this, where I make fun of her once in a while, because she's a professor at the school, and I'll see her sometimes with her students. I'll be like, hey, I think that guy I think that student's attracted to you. And she's like, oh my God, he's like a child.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, it's the same thing. So like, I'm an adult going back through college, and every kid in there is exactly what I just said, a kid, because they're so young that they seem like.
And in there, it's like it would also distract the male coaches. I'm like, what are they distracted? Oh my God, they shouldn't be coaches.
Why do you never hear the men should not be like the kids? The boys' track team shouldn't be running around shirtless because it's distracting the women.
Perfect
coaches.
example. When you were in high school and you had to play basketball for high school gym, shirts versus skins. How often did that happen? All the time.
Yeah.
Can't do that with girls. All they're asking is to be out there in their sports bras because it's hot. And I'm like, go for it, whatever. If you're ogling the underage girl track team, you shouldn't be a track coach.
Yeah. That would be something. Like, I mean, I don't know if we're going to be in Haver for like ever, but when my kid starts going through school, oh, you better watch out, Haver.
We're placing too much stuff on these little kids, like the expectations to make a certain beauty requirement as a female is just stupid.
If something happened, like I know your kid's young right now, but if something like this happened, would you be mad at your kid?
No,
right?
I'd be in that school right now going, you guys have got a serious problem.
Yeah. Oh man, and they got 43,000 signatures.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense because I mean, let's do a Google thing. Let's just see if we can find a difference. If there's a difference between how a sports bra is different from the runners. But I mean, this also brings up another thing that I've always been thinking about is we always are like, oh, well, you shouldn't be wearing sports bra or something like that. But guarantee, if you went and had a beach day at that school and they came in their bathing suit, which would just be a two-piece, they'd be fine with it.
No questions.
And I don't understand why there's that difference. Like it shouldn't be. Like I don't go to a beach and see a girl walking around in a two-piece and go, I'm just like, oh, it looks like somebody.
Well, there are some that do that.
Yeah, but girls will do that too with guys. Like when we walk down with our shirts off, we have to be careful because there's girls.
My wife will jump me. I know.
Well, just more than that, Derek. Like I think half the girls on the beach would be like, look at those guys. They must be average rants.
Put a shirt on. The camera takes away 10 pounds. You're way fatter in real life.
Wait, what's this thing on yours? Rant average? Oh, sorry. And then we'll switch sides.
Right.
Because we'll have the tattoos.
Each other's face.
Yeah. Dude, sweet.
No, I read that I completely forgot to put that in my phone to talk about it. But I don't remember. That is one of the. I mean, seriously, like I said at the beginning of the show, we are making it impossible, literally almost impossible. I don't know how females do it. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm a guy.
It's so much easier to be a guy.
But the thing that I don't like, at least right now, about being a guy is
I don't like the decisions that are being made on my behalf, not so much my behalf, but people that like me that shouldn't have the ability to make the decision, making the decision. Why are you making? You don't have.
Well, yeah, it's because the ones that are making some of these decisions, because I know it's just a saying, but you hear the saying of like all men, and I've heard that a lot, and I'm like, but that's not actually me. I don't think that, but it sucks that it's true that there is a lot of men that feel that they have the right to control somebody else. I'm trying to remember, there was something that was said. It was my wife had a post from one of her friends because she's in a lot of the educated community stuff, and it was, so when you die, you have a choice of donating your organs or not.
Right.
So a dead person has more rights in that sense of what can be done with their body than a person that is alive.
Right.
And I was like, that's messed up.
Yeah, that's just like,
Right? Because when you think about it, everyone should just donate their organs when they die because they don't need them anymore.
yeah, what good's it gonna do you?
And, I mean, I don't care what religious beliefs you have, you could save somebody.
Yeah, it's about, well, and then I did see that post. It's about saving lives.
Yeah.
Well, you're saving an unborn, but what about the lives of the people that these procedures, yes, controversial as they are, save lives?
Well, I mean, like my wife and I are actually looking into adopting now. We're going to start.
Well, not even so much that, but say a woman gets pregnant and she cannot, like, it could actually, and she's done everything she can to protect herself from being pregnant. But if she gets pregnant, she can't carry because it'll kill her.
Yeah.
What is she supposed to do? Well, then you got to, well, she shouldn't be doing that with people. It's human. You can't tell your body to not want to do. I mean, it's nature, right?
Yeah, that's a dumb thing.
Right.
That's like any person that says that kind of thing. I bet you we could find some aspect of their life where we're like, well, why don't you stop smoking?
Right.
Why don't you stop drinking? Why don't you stop breathing? Like, it's human nature to want to have sex.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It's the number one thing men try. It's what we do as a species is to spread our genetics.
Well, and
because that's the way nature intended.
One of the only species that actually gets pleasure out of it.
Yeah, and we get to choose our partner. Well, our partner usually chooses us.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one, and I really wish it would have went to more of what the people wanted, because I know there's people out there that are going to be happy. There's always going to be people unhappy no matter what happens.
You can't make everybody happy.
But to run a country, you would really think that they would be listening to the majority of the people, because that's what matters.
Well, as you've seen before, that the majority, it doesn't matter if the majority is happy. If the less of the majority isn't happy, somebody cheated.
No,
or somebody lied. Well, yeah, that's duh. People lie, cheat, and steal their way to things all the time. It's just human nature. Like, we want what's best for ourselves. So how do I get it? Well, if I can lie and cheat my way there, it's easier.
Yeah, it's
there would be no rules to any games if people didn't cheat.
It's true.
Seriously, I mean, there's that's a reason there are rules in every game, because people try and cheat to win.
Well, that's why I always think it's funny when, like for hockey, because I know that one, is you have penalties, because that's for people that are trying to break the rules. But then I like when people say, well, it's a part of the game. I'm like, well, technically it's not supposed to be. That's why it's a penalty.
Yeah. Like, they don't want it. That's why you go, you're done, right? You know?
Oh, but yeah, I know, at least for youth hockey, with stuff, the changes coming right now, there's going to be some unhappy parents with how the rule. I like the way the rules are changing, but I don't think there's going to be some parents that like it.
People, and here's a good final thing before we get off here is people adapting. Montana came out with the Clean Air Act 4 or 5 years ago. You couldn't smoke in a public place. You couldn't smoke in the bars.
Yeah.
I sent, you've seen a picture of me drinking a beer, watching a hockey game in the bar.
Yeah.
Like, when do you go to the bar? Well, I normally don't.
Yeah, that was so weird.
The biggest thing for me, because I've been able to go to the bars for a long time, but my biggest thing is like they're loud, they're crowded, and smoking. I hate it. Well, and then when they first passed this, and they're like, well, nobody's going to go to the bars anymore because they can't smoke. Lots of people are still hanging out at the bars.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they have to go outside to smoke, but apparently they're like, oh, fine, I guess they'll get over it.
Yeah.
But I don't think with something like what's happened recently, people aren't just going to get over that. You're messing with something, because you're not impeding their right to smoke. You're just saying you can't smoke right here. You have to go that way.
Yeah. It's the thing that happened to me is another one of those situations where it's people making decisions when it doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be just a man. Like I mean, I'll say I don't like abortions, but I am 100% pro-choice. That is my way of things.
Right.
And I just don't like. I like that I have the freedom to do what I choose to do, and I don't like it if somebody takes away.
As long as what you're doing, and this is where it gets hazy, are you hurting somebody else, or are you, people like, well, it's an unborn child, it's a person. Science says it's not until a certain point. But religion says it is, no matter what. Well, what are you going to do?
I don't know.
That's
not for us to decide.
Thank God.
Because we don't really know.
We don't know.
No.
It's 4 o'clock.
Ugh, we got so political this time.
God, I hate it.
I do. But it is a rant. And I do want to let people know we're not trying to change anyone's mind. It's just our rant. And we have this hour.
You come in immediately after us and chew a spark. Because we don't know.
Yeah, you've been listening to KNMC
90.1
FM. And have a great Sunday.
Sunday fun day.